Hey, the brush we're going to be using today is the 1250 from Semogue. So a nice comfy brush with good splay, and it's a little on the smaller side, so this splay isn't the splay is easy, just not huge, which is cool because I don't do my chin area, and so I don't need it to be extra large. Today we're going to be using the Sheraton. Yesterday's recording didn't go through. I saw it on the camera ticking by, but then at the end of the shave I looked and the file wasn't there. My phone is old and slow, and so maybe that's what it is, but I was introducing my step back into using my Nacet razor blade, and I've already got it in the razor, but here's, some of you may recognize my old envelope. 50 dots on the front side and enough on the back side to make 131. And these pages, the little creases here are about to just fall apart. And soap we're going to be using today is Santa Paula from Chiseled Face. And it's a nice orange type scent, a little bit of sage, and Petitgrain, and a bitter orange, that sort of thing. It's got a nice smell. As long as that orange is really strong and overwhelms the sage, then I think I can be happy with this guy. And that is how it smells dry from the tub. In a second, I'm going to press that into the bottom of the lather bowl. I've showed you everything else. Speaking of the lather bowl, here we go. This is a 3D printed one. Info in the description if you want. Chiseled Face is a great soap base. I've got my 1/4 teaspoon measure, and I am going to take that out. Wash that in a second. And then just press these guys into the bottom of the bowl. And you kind of want it to stay. You don't want any loose pieces. It's also better to do it when it's dry. It just sticks better. This is the way to lather samples. It's very hard to get your brush in that tiny sample container. So that's even people who face lather need a bowl for this type of thing. So it's all pressed in, ready to go, about a 1/4 teaspoon. And then I'm going to get my face wet. The water is just kind of cool. It's not cold, as we've had some warm weather lately. All right, nothing to it but to do it. Today's water that the brush has been soaking in is mostly distilled, and so it should give me a nice lather without any trouble. If I was using my hard water, sometimes with a few soaps out there, I need to then just load a little bit extra soap, a little longer, you know, something like that. Just a few of them out there that are a little bit finicky. This soap is part of the Boar brush is part of my Boarathon that I'm doing. Got 7 Boar brushes that I am breaking in all at the same time. These Semogues are really comfortable. Looking forward to how they're going to behave once they get a lot of uses in them, because this one may be 10 uses, so this would be number 11. This lather looks just really nice. Doesn't take a lot of water to get something that's attractive. I'm going to fill up my 2 teaspoon syringe here. Let's add a teaspoon of water. I've had this sample now for a while. No doubt I was ordering something else, and I thought I like to use from Maggard Razors the Edge shipping program they have for maybe 20 bucks. It's almost like Amazon Prime. You get free shipping, and you pay your 20 bucks, and then for 6 months or something like that, you get free shipping as long as the order is more than several dollars, you know. And I really like it, highly recommend it, especially in the beginning. Makes it real easy to order a handful of samples at once without having to worry about the shipping. Lather looks terrific. Probably had something else in mind to buy, maybe a soap or something, a full-size tub. So I said, I like Chiseled Face a lot. Several of their scents I just really enjoy. Sherlock, Midnight Stag. What else do they have that's I like? Ghost Town Barber is nice. Didn't like it at first because I didn't really appreciate the barbershop genre, but now I really do. So I like that one. And just good performance by all their stuff. 2 teaspoons of water are now in the lather. Looking good. Let's show you how kind of viscosity we're dealing with right now. It's not super smooth and creamy. It's not, it will fall off the brush in a big kind of ball there. So it's not as wet as I often like it. Let's do a little finger test here. I think I'll stick with that. Nice slickness, some cushion. I can feel my fingerprint ridges. So let's not add any more. All right, get my face wet again. $132 uses at the end of this shave for this blade. And we will march on until we get to 150. That'll be cool. I've already shaved with this blade last night. I don't see any reason why it's gonna need to stop before I get to 150. This brush is very comfortable, and this guy is just like 15 bucks. So if you're looking for an inexpensive brush and you don't like the springy backbone of the synthetics, which are also inexpensive, then these Boars might be a great way for you to get on some good soft brushes. And this is a young one. It will get softer and smoother even still. And let's see here, a little bristle. So I'm going to take my, this looks a little bit on the thick side. Smooth it out a little bit. Can even spray the brush. Add some water up on my cheeks. Just a little too clumpy. That's probably good right there. Let's try that. Didn't take much tweaking. Nice comfy lather, and the orange is coming through for the scent. I'll try to track as I'm shaving here if I'm picking up any other nuances like the sage or any other aspects. They all could be just kind of hidden supporting elements, making it a more sophisticated orange instead of just something kind of straight. Yesterday I was shaving off 2 days of growth. The old venerable Nacet blade does not like to do that. It just likes 1 day of growth, and so it was a little on the tuggy side yesterday, but it's much nicer now. Not painful. Very slightly do I feel the tugging, so technically I'd call it slightly uncomfortable. But it's not a big deal. Oh, I'm going to wipe away the unshavable area where my hair does not grow. I don't want to I can sometimes cut myself if I go down there too much. Or give myself a little bit of razor burn. Yeah, just pass number 1 goes really well. Just light tugging. Still fairly comfortable. It's but pass 2 and 3 are crazy smooth, just really nice. All right, rinse this off. All right, load up the brush again. Had to add a little bit of water to the first pass, so let's do the same to this one. I should have left a little bit of water on my face. And a couple of spritzes in the lather bowl to cover my next pass. Nice slickness as I rinsed away that first pass. Wasn't super luxurious and creamy, but it's kind of par for the course with my first pass since I've got oily skin. Some of that kind of saps away the creaminess of the shaving soap. Light, flexible hold on the razor. Seems to prefer kind of a buffing type operation. And this is a cross grain pass for my cheeks. That's pass number 2. And again, even though I have a different grip, kind of like a pencil grip, it's still fairly flexible. And these passes are comfortable and easy. Most of the hair has been taken away and just a light touch is all that's needed. My neck growth is in that direction, and then once it crosses the center, it kind of starts angling down just a little bit, and there's some swirls over here that I've had to learn how to work around. And rinse this off. I was burying my nose in this bowl and sure enough, I picked up on that sage. It's a really good use, in my opinion, a good balanced use of that sage. Plenty of lather, so might as well just goop it on. The sage is just really nice with that orange. I am not a fan of sage, but when it's a handy helper scent, secondary supporting scent, it can be wonderful. Third pass. Kind of do the bottom first. This helps me to the angle. You can see I'm kind of doing a 45-degree angle for a lot of this, and that's one reason for that. When I do this angle, it has a slight width to grain component because I told you my hair goes this way, but it's also a tilt because if I do straight up and down, then I could cross one of these creases if I'm not stretching my head right and maybe dig in a little bit too much. So by crossing that, if I happen not to be stretching that crease well enough, then the tilted head will help me to still come out unscathed, even though I made a slight technique error. Kind of go any way I want down here within reason, since it's all been cut off. This is right here's the money stroke for this little area where the hair just lays so close to the skin, it seems. Now the easy part. I just inflate my cheeks. You can use your tongue to press them out if you want to do that. And also push my shoulder back. It's easy to do when I'm shaving with the opposite hand. A little harder when I have the same hand. All right. Comfortable shave. I feel no irritation. I didn't make any weepers or anything like that. So, shave number 132 is in the books. I'm gonna rinse. I didn't quite hit that area with the right stroke, so first I dried myself off with a towel to really inspect it well. So I'll dab just a little bit of water on there and then a little bit of the lather. Not overstretching my skin, and then just staying very light. It's probably got it pretty nicely. My Adam's apple usually gets done pretty well. If I'd have focused a little bit more, and I could have taken care of that in the third pass and not have to do a touch-up. Gonna rinse this off. And yep, got a nice close shave right there. That particular pass did really well. Maybe one hair has a little bit of length on it, but the rest of them you just kind of see the dots. And that's pretty good since I can't go against the grain. But face is really close. So that blade is still, people are throwing away blades after 5 uses, and that's 132 uses, and it's still giving me a close shave. So, you know, I'm not saying it's wrong to throw away blade. They're cheap. I mean, if you want to be extravagant and use a fresh blade every day, you know, it's up to you. If they're cheap, so why not have something in your life you can do that too if you have to live on a budget. But I mainly do this kind of thing just to illustrate to people that they can go further than the average that a lot of guys seem to think you have to stick with. All right, so I have lots, and I thought I might, but I decided to go ahead and use the full 1/4 teaspoon of soap. I've got 2 or 3 passes right here still, and there we go. I'll just clean up. I used the full 2 teaspoons of water added to the lather. So there's kind of my formula, about a little bit less than a 1/4 teaspoon of soap mainly, maybe, and then 2 teaspoons of water. Gave me a really nice lather, and I did, like I suspected, have nice, creamy, luxurious rinses and after each pass for the second and third pass. So it was just my oily skin that messes up that first one. Pretty standard. If I were to wash my skin with like a glycerin soap before the shave, then I could have such a nice feel after the first, but why add another piece of stuff to my routine? It's long enough already, but I enjoy it. So I just let the first pass be a cleaner. And this lather bowl has these kind of pointy triangular style ridges instead of bumps. And I think sometimes that can make certain soft brushes not pick up all of a sample. And so I actually used even less soap than I thought, because there's a few little soap deposits in there still. And, you know, sure, you can leave them there until the next shave. It's not a big deal. But I think if I were to redesign this, or if I had the computer know-how, I might change the bump style maybe. But it works really well. I'm happy with it. This, my favorite part, is the brush stand. You know, it can be a thumb rest, but since there's nothing really on the bottom to grab it by, I don't often use that. Probably the main reason I don't use it is because I have to put it on the left of my sink, and so I don't want the brush to hang off the side of the sink over here, and so I have to put it on the inside of the sink right here, which means when I pick the bowl up, it's not really, I don't want to have to pivot it every time. But I'm loving the bowl, love the brush holder, love the size, love the inturned lip right here. Oh, there's a little bit of soap I need to clean up. The interned lip really helps to keep the soap in. With my Boar brushes and badgers, I only soak the bristles in the water, and I soak in cool. I don't want that wetness to get into the glue ball and make it expand or anything, because then that can loosen it. Maybe loosen the hairs or loosen the knot to where it starts to shed, and I don't want that. But I don't soak the handle part, and so therefore I'm never worried about wooden handles. And I really like the wood. I think it offers as much superior grip to like a resin or acrylic handle when wet and soapy. So this 1250 is a great little brush. I would recommend it as an inexpensive option. And my break-in process got me a nice usable bowl lathering brush in just 3 uses, something like that. It was not a problem. And that was before each shave. Soak it in water, not even hot water or cold water, not in a fridge or anything like that. Just soak it in water for about 1 to 3 hours before each shave, and then give it a couple of days between shaves to dry out. And it didn't take too long before this guy was enjoyable, and now he's great with just 11 uses on him now. Like it. $15. I mean, come on. As far as the soap, the strength was light, but present. Say maybe a 4 or a 5 out of 10 for scent strength. Probably a little closer to the 4 for me, but Santa Paula from Chiseled Face. If I had to pick an orange soap, I think this might be my favorite. I've got an orange one from Sapone de Paolo, and it's more kind of straightforward, kind of sweeter orange. This one's got some spices, and to me it's just the right kind of spices. It adds some interest, but it doesn't take it down some weird clove turn or anything that's too herby, too you know, harsh. And but it's not overly sweet. It's not candy-like. I'm a fan. And I don't know. I don't know if I will. You know what I bet? If I came across a tub of this stuff on the used market for a low price, I might go ahead and snag it. Chiseled Face is a nice product. Those guys have not really followed the current trend of the big tiers like Barrister and Man and Holy Cow, Noble Otter, Declaration Grooming, of moving their bases towards something that has a lot of skin kindnesses in the post shave, and so in a sense it's less of a soap and more of a two things in one. And to me, I prefer something like this in general, because you don't have to use as much product, and so therefore it's less expensive. And I've got a balm, an inexpensive balm that I can use for my post shave feel. But that's just me. I do own the other, some examples of the other kind of bases. But these aren't quite as bleeding edge, and so you don't see as much Chiseled Face on the set of the day posts and things like that. And that's, you know, that's the way it is, I guess. Probably guys who are enjoying this, these types of scents have been doing it for a lot of years, and maybe they don't post and they just sit back and enjoy their shaves. So yeah, if I felt like bringing an orange into my world, and who knows, sometimes you need something to break up all the men's colognes and leather and smoke and things like that. I think this is maybe a nice one to do it. So I'm a fan. And who knows, maybe a half-used tub of Santa Paula might come up on the used marketplace for just a few dollars, you know, then I might jump on it and enjoy it. I've told you about the soap that was used. Cleanup is almost done. Here, let me show you my Nacet blade. Rinse. All I do is just rinse. I'm going to tighten the head back down and give it a shake, a little flick. And then I'm always putting the X side down, and so it's kind of the dirty side. You see a little staining if I hold it the right way, the right angle and the light. But then the top side is pretty clean. I'm just going to gently set that over on a towel, lay a piece of the towel on the top of it and pat it, flip it over, do the same thing again, and that is all I do to my blade between shaves. I do go ahead and, you know, kind of wipe down the razor, try to get those water droplets out of it. Probably not necessary. It is brass, so yeah, it's not going to rust. There we go. So he is ready for another day. Back in the early 1900s, first cup, maybe the 30s or something like that, was when this Sheraton came about. His geometry just seems to really work well with this old smoothed out blade. But is it really too smoothed out? If he can give me a great cut like this, face feels great, no irritation. I haven't even put any post-shave product on. I've got oily skin anyway. I could probably get away with not. Let me see what I have down in the drawer. Even as I was bending down, I knew what I would get, especially with an orange-based shave soap. I think a good match is going to be Lucky Tiger After Shave and Face Tonic. The cream shave that comes in a smaller bottle, someday I need to get around to using that again. This is not an alcohol-based splash or toner. It's got some other things in to help your skin. Calendula. There we go. Feels great. Nice orangey smell. Chamomile, aloe vera. Very nice. easygoing scent. I'm a night shaver, so I tend to favor aftershave products that are more easygoing instead of in your face. Yeah, I think we've covered everything tonight. Hope there was something here for you. We are back on the train. I expect maybe to get a new razor in, a new used razor. Maybe tomorrow, hopefully. And if not, then the next day. So I might break from the Nacet to be able to use that. I will break from the Nacet to use that. So maybe that's what we'll see tomorrow. We'll just have to find out what comes. But there we go. The Nacet has not missed a beat. So there we go. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care and good night.